Aspect or embassy. Critically evaluate the nature of the trine aspect. Is it, as a tradition holds, a facile and harmonious flow of energy leading to complacency, or is it a potent, underutilized channel of innate talent that requires conscious activation to be effective? Aspect or embassy, a critical reevaluation of the trine. The traditional taxonomy of astrological aspects, inherited from the Hellenistic and medieval traditions, presents a clear, if somewhat moralistic, hierarchy. The conjunction is a potent, focused conference, the sextile an opportunity, the square a crisis to be overcome, the opposition a dialogue or a polarized tension. The trine, an aspect of 120 degrees, born of the division of the circle by 3, has long been relegated to the comfortable and often disparaged role of mere good fortune. It is seen as a natural flow of energy, a celestial inheritance so effortless that it breeds, in the famous words of Charles Carter, a certain laziness or complacency. This essay will contend that this interpretation is a critical failure of astrological imagination. The trine is not a passive birthright, but a latent embassy, a channel of communication between divine powers within the psyche that requires conscious diplomatic activation to be effective. The traditional critique of the trine rests upon its elemental harmony. A trine within the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, connects a native's assertive, inspirational, and philosophical faculties with an undeniable ease. The individual does not need to strive for confidence or vision, it is simply there. Herein lies the perceived danger. Without the galvanizing friction of a square or the synthesizing pressure of an opposition, the individual may simply recline in this natural talent, never feeling the need to cultivate it into a disciplined art. It becomes like a forgotten trust fund, providing comfort, but never invested in a meaningful enterprise. This view casts the trine as a placid lake, its water stagnant from lack of disturbance. However, to accept this is to misunderstand the fundamental nature of elemental energy. A trine does not create energy ex nihilo, it creates a diplomatic channel through which energy can flow without the static of internal conflict. The question is not whether the energy exists, but what the individual chooses to do with this open embassy. A trine between Mars and Aries and Jupiter and Leo does not automatically make one a heroic leader. It provides a direct, unblocked line between the will to act, Mars, and the capacity for inspired command, Jupiter. The individual can indeed use this for brash, complacent arrogance, or they can consciously activate this embassy to pursue audacious goals with contagious courage, channeling the raw potential into a structured, kingly purpose. This distinction between passive potential and active application is powerfully illustrated by the mythic archetypes of Poseidon and Hephaestus. Poseidon, ruler of vast, fluid seas, embodies the untamed, effortless power of the water trine. His domain is one of instinct, emotion, and boundless potential, but when unleashed without conscious direction, it results in chaotic storms and shipwrecks. Hephaestus, the crippled smith god, by contrast, works with the fire trine. He is not naturally perfect, he is cast out from Olympus, yet in his forge he takes the raw, flowing power of fire, and through conscious, painstaking technique, channels it into objects of sublime beauty and function, the palaces of the gods, their armor, their jewelry. Hephaestus represents the activated trine, the innate talent, fire, that has been wounded, conscious of its own value, and therefore applied with masterful discipline. The humanistic astrology of Dane Rudiger provides the necessary philosophical framework for this activation. He moves beyond the medieval language of good and evil aspects toward a model of integration and purpose. From this vantage, a trine is not a gift, but a fundamental core component of the individual's being that is so intrinsic it is often taken for granted. The square demands attention, the trine whispers, and is easily ignored. The spiritual task, then, is to bring this unconscious competence into conscious service of the solar purpose. A trine between Mercury and Uranus may grant intuitive, lightning-fast insights, but without conscious effort to ground this energy, perhaps through the discipline of a Saturnine square elsewhere in the chart, it may manifest as erratic genius, never codified into a lasting work of innovation. We can observe this principle in the hypothetical chart from our first lecture, which possesses a Jupiter and Libra trine Neptune in Aquarius. The effortless flow of energy here is between the principle of expansion, justice, and balance, Jupiter and Libra, and the principle of visionary idealism, collectivism, and spirituality, Neptune in Aquarius. The passive expression would be a person with beautifully utopian dreams for a fairer world, Jupiter, Neptune, who does little more than discuss them in aesthetically pleasing surroundings, Libra. The activated expression, however, would be the individual who uses this empathy, this direct line between their philosophical mind and their visionary capacity to actually architect new social systems, to found humanitarian organizations that blend justice with a transcendent Aquarian ideal of unity. The energy is the same. Its manifestation depends entirely on the consciousness and will of the native. In conclusion, the traditional astrological dismissal of the trine as a facilitator of complacency is a profound misreading. It mistakes the absence of friction for an absence of power. The trine is not a lazy river, but a deep, powerful current. It is an established embassy between allied faculties of the soul, offering a constant open channel for communication and cooperation. The critical factor is not the aspect itself, but the development of the diplomat, the individual's conscious ego, who must learn to send a purposeful missions through this embassy. To waste a trine is to leave an ambassador waiting in an empty hall, bearing gifts for a sovereign who never arrives. To activate it is to engage in the sacred work of statecraft within one's own psyche, forging innate potential and to manifest destiny.